They told me boys don't cry or play with Barbies. So my whole life I've tried my hardest to be the man that they wanted me to be.
Hisukis, this is the part 2 of In Another Life. Since all of you just kept on commenting down below that you wanted a part 2, but the Tsukishima and Hinata In Another Life will not have a part 2 because that was the end of the story, and I am so sorry, guys. Tsukihina just doesn't, get together in that part because what Tsukishima did was unforgivable in every way, and I hope none of you ever go through that. Happy watching. Enjoy! OiKage side of In Another Life. Out of character Oikawa also ditched the canon past of these two. Desperate. Oikawa had an obsession with a blue-eyed raven. An obsession he took too far with a blonde middle blocker from Karasuno. An obsession that could have landed him in jail for illegal imprisonment and sexual exploitation. An obsession that was forgiven by the center of his disease. Toru mourning. 9 years ago, in the middle of summer break, Oikawa had locked up the raven in his apartment. The raven's family was clueless to the act, for they were never there for the boy, and it was the best gift the family could give to the brunette. The chance to pounce without any risk of authorities searching for the boy. Tobio-chan, up so early? I had to go for a run. Tobio slipped his arms around Toru's waist and hummed a low tune as Toru poured them a cup of coffee. Don't you know that already? I just like hearing your voice. Which one? The whining, begging one, and the normal, monotonic one. You love me too much. Toru placed the coffee pot down and turned to face the raven. No, I'm obsessed with you. And with that obsession is unconditional love. Tobio took both of Toru's hands and raised them up to kiss every finger. Toru chuckled, a soft smile gracing Tobio's lips as they leaned in to share a kiss. Life couldn't get any better. The 20-year-old Oikawa Toru was a fool to succumb to Tsukishima's plan. But the results were much satisfying to both boys who stuck to the plan. Do you regret it? Toru pulled away from the kiss to look at Tobio in the eye. Regret what? 3rd year. Oh. Tobio buried his face into Oikawa's neck and inhaled a large breath. A sigh followed. What about you? Do you regret it? Greatly so. What I did was... You know what I did, and I can't forgive myself because of it. Toru chuckled and gave Tobio a tight hug. Toru, we're fine. I'm fine. I wasn't back then, and you weren't too. But we changed. Toru and Tobio went into therapy. As much as it hurt seeing the glances the therapist made while being told their story, or hearing the whispers said to Tobio for help, it was a step Toru wanted to take for them both, and it proved its worth, although both still meet with a therapist for prevention of Toru's relapse. For us. Toru sighed into the hug and let go. I still can't believe I got carried away with that guy's plan. It's been years already. Won't you tell me who he is, at least? It's better if you don't. He has something on you? Yes, you. But Toru, Tobio, I'm fine, but somebody else might not be if I tell you. Is this really for the best? At least I hope it would be. The two looked at the direction of the door and then to each other. Did you have any guest coming? Maki-san? Iwaizumi-san? No, I don't recall calling them over. I'll go get it then. Tobio unlatched himself from the hug and went to open the door. When he came back, a redhead was behind him. Toru. He knows about it. Hinata-san. We can sit in the living room to talk. Hinata just nodded, turned, and made his way to the living room. It was Tsukishima? Yeah. He wanted Chibi-chan. And I wanted you. Guess Shoyu just knew about it. Tobio extended his hand to Toru. Let's go tie up your loose ends. Toru gave a wobbly smile and took his hand. The talk with Hinata was short and abrupt. The tangerine was angry at Oikawa for doing what he did. He was angry at Kageyama for forgiving Oikawa. But both men could see that Hinata was just angry at himself for not knowing it happened. It looked as if Hinata was stuck in the past and everybody else was moving on. When Hinata left with an apology for his intrusion and a farewell they didn't know would be the last, both men sat side by side. They sought comfort from each other and felt as though everything is right when everything was wrong. I love you. Toru looked down at their clasped hands and let out a breath of relief. I'm obsessed with you. Right. Obsession was the right word for his feelings towards the younger, no matter how much the Raven would say it was not. The past was a mistake, but the present is my choice. Instead of the betrayal Hinata felt because of Tsukishima, what the two felt was content. They had made things work for them, and they should have wanted it any better, but they were fine with how they came to be, even more with how they are now. I really am obsessed with you, Tobio-chan. Just then, Tobio's phone lit up as a message came in from Hidata. Subject not available. I'm leaving the country. Don't bother telling Kay. Thank you for opening up to me about the truth I was never told. I wish you best in your lives. Goodbye. Huh? He's leaving? But he's throwing everything away? Tobio, it's his choice. But Toru, he doesn't have anyone. He's lost and impulsive and clearly still likes the beanpole. Toru held down Tobio as he tried to get up and chase after Hinata. He shook his head at the raven net and pulled him down to sit again. Tobio, give him time. He needs it. But he's lost. I just want to be there for him because nobody was there for me. Tobio, look at me. Toru grabbed Tobio's chin to force the raven to look at him. I put a tracker on him. You what? I figured he'd do this and you'd want to know where he'd be. Crazy guessing game. Tobio sighed in relief. At least he'd know where Hinata would be. You and your obsessive mind actually became useful. I know. I'm obsessive after all. Tobio smiled up at him and tucked himself in Toru's neck, sighing contently and gratefully. But the small reminder of his past actions had Toru biting his cheek and tensing up. Guess that one chain around Toru's neck will stay, for he himself won't let go of his mistake. But truly, what is love?